this is really interesting because then it brings up the concept of I'm good enough as I am, right? Which is a, like kind of a spiritual concept, but also a practical mindfulness concept of like, you are good, you are content as you are, just acceptance. But you had to confront, I'm not good enough right now.
Yeah.
How do you feel like that plays into maybe men you work with, of like the difference between acceptance of like, accept where you are good enough, you're doing enough, or man, you're just not there. And how do you kind of navigate those worlds of you are enough and you're not enough yet?
Yeah, well, I think that's the return, right? The return to wholeness, the return to our true and authentic self is first initially realizing that I am not that in this moment because I'm overcompensating or I'm playing this egoic game, right? Like you mentioned, Cam, where you're putting so much emphasis on your physical fitness as this unconscious attempt to overcome a lack of self-worth or self-doubt or fear or whatever it may be, is realizing that I am not yet that. And then you can step into fundamentally realizing, oh, that which I am seeking never actually left me. It's always been inside of me this entire time. I just have needed to go insert. It's kind of like what Rumi said, where he's like, your task is not to seek love, but to seek and discover all of the barriers that stand between you and love. And so in the initial phase, you do need to realize that, okay, the person that I aspire to be, I am not that, so that you can, because that is, of course, what forces you to do something about it, right? If you realize, you probably wouldn't if you're like, oh, I'm actually whole and complete as I am, you would never actually go through the process of reconciling the pain from the past. So you have to initially confront this reality that I am not who I am supposed to be or I want to be. I'm not my true and authentic self or operating as my true and authentic self in this moment, which gets you to go do something about it. Only then to come back and circle the wagons, if you will, to realize that, oh, I'm whole and complete as I am.